Pope Francis has formally given his approval for priests to bless same-sex couples. He released a document today explaining the major shift in Vatican policy.
Now, in this document, Francis reaffirms the position of the church that marriage is a sacrament between a man and a woman, but says people seeking God's love and mercy should not be subject to an exhaustive moral analysis to receive it. The document goes on to say that ultimately a blessing offers people a means to increase their trust in God. International correspondent Giles Gibson tells us more.
Well, this new document from the Vatican was signed off by Pope Francis himself, and in it, it makes it clear that priests can give blessings to same-sex couples, and I'm quoting here, without officially validating their status or changing in any way the Church's perennial teaching on marriage. That teaching, of course, being that marriage can only be something between a man and a woman. Now, this is not really a surprise, despite the fact that it is a very historic moment in terms of the Catholic Church's history, because back in October we had the Vatican publishing a letter that Pope Francis wrote back in the summer, back in July, to 5 conservative cardinals who challenged him to really clarify his position and therefore, of course, the position of the Church when it comes to blessings for same-sex couples. So we were certainly expecting to see this made public at some point, even though it is a really historic moment for the Catholic Church. Now, it's also worth noting that amongst those 5 conservative cardinals that Pope Francis wrote that letter to back in the summer was the American Cardinal Raymond Burke, who, of course, just last month we saw reportedly stripped of some of his privileges that he enjoys as a retired cardinal, including an annual stipend, as well as a subsidized apartment in the Vatican itself. According to reports that we got at the time, that decision was made by Pope Francis himself because he believed that Raymond Burke was sowing disunity within the Church. So I think this decision will certainly be seen as a historic moment, as part of Pope Francis's ongoing efforts to reform the Church and to reach out to LGBTQ groups and Catholics all over the world. But it will also be seen inevitably as part of that kind of rumbling dispute between Pope Francis, seen as a reformer, as leading the reformist wing of the Church, and that more conservative wing, which a lot of it which is based over in the United States.
That was Giles Gibson reporting in Rome.